We have Carolyn Malone joining us from Washington, D.C. Thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. Well, we heard Trump slam Biden for opening up the borders for terrorists, and Biden there calling, Donald Trump a complete liar. Take us through the key takeaways of the debate.
We absolutely did. Yeah, we absolutely did. We absolutely did hear them debating very strongly about immigration, that being one of the key issues that is engaging voters, particularly on the Republican side. Increasingly, people who vote Republican are concerned about the borders being too open, about too many people being allowed in, about the need for stronger security at the borders. And it's something that both Trump and Biden have engaged in the past, and we've heard them here on that debate stage going back and forth with that. Biden being very clear, though, that he sees that what Trump is saying, and Trump has been saying that criminals are being allowed into the country through the borders, he sees that as not being true. He says that's a lie. He says that Trump is, essentially making up stories about how other countries are opening their jails and allowing people through the US border. Also on the economy, Trump's talked about how he created a stronger US economy when he was last in charge. Biden said that also wasn't true. And in fact, Trump was the president that increased the US debt more than any other president has in their time in office. So strongly disagreeing with that as well. They've also talked about foreign policy, Ukraine being a hot topic. Trump saying that if and when he is in power again, when he becomes president, that he will end the war with Russia, that he's saying that's a war that should never have happened. Biden retorting that Putin, the president of Russia, is a war criminal, and that is not something that is tenable, to have the end of a war with a deal when you're dealing with someone that he sees as being a war criminal. So very contentious issues that they're going back and forth on here. But unlike previous debates, they're not really being able to interrupt each other because CNN is muting the other person when they're not being asked to answer a question. So there has been a bit more of a calmer type of mood on the stage so far. One downside, though, for Biden is, he appeared to struggle in the beginning of the debate and even lost his train of thought about 12 minutes in when he was talking about the economy, which, clearly is not a good look, especially when a lot of voters are looking to see if Biden is still able enough, if he still has enough mental agility as an 80-plus-year-old to be the president of the country again. Trump is a few years younger, but doesn't seem to be having that same kind of attention over his mental ability. So certainly that will count against him. But also Biden seems to be doing a good job of fact-checking Trump as well. So giving each other kind of a bit of back and forth on these hot topic debates. One question they had just recently in the last few moments was about climate change. Trump avoided the question really altogether and started talking about social justice and about the police reform and about how Biden hasn't done a good job for black voters. Black voters are a key part of the demographic that either side would need to win in order to get into office again. He did eventually get to climate change, but one of the big controversies that Trump has faced in the last few months has been that he held a meeting with energy executives, and after that it was alleged that he made some kind of deal with them, basically to help them if he gets back in office with tax breaks. That's a bit ambiguous to see. There's some probes going on to see actually what happened in that debate. Of course, Trump also now a convicted felon. He was found guilty on 34 counts of falsifying business records. Of course, Biden brought that up in the debate so far, saying that he's a felon. Trump retorted and said, well, your son, Hunter Biden, is also a felon. So, hitting each other hard with those very direct allegations as well so far.